All right, let's talk about one of the most overlooked but seriously powerful forces in all of real estate: buyer feedback. Yeah, I know, it sounds like just a simple courtesy, right? But what we're about to uncover is how it's actually the secret engine that makes the entire market tick for everyone. Okay, so picture this. You've just finished a showing, you've walked through a potential new home, you hop back in the car with your agent, and they turn to you and ask that classic question. So, what'd you think? You know, that simple, kind of off-the-cuff opinion you give in that moment, it feels so small, doesn't it? But trust me, what happens next with that little piece of information, it kicks off this massive ripple effect that touches everyone, the sellers, the agents, and yeah, even you, the buyer, in ways you probably never even thought about. So let's follow that first ripple. Where does it go? Well, it heads straight to the one person who is absolutely on the edge of their seat, just dying to know what you thought: the seller. I mean, really try to put yourself in their shoes for a second. They've spent days, maybe weeks, cleaning, staging, getting their home just right. And then they have to leave. They're not allowed to be there. They have absolutely zero idea how people are reacting to what is probably the biggest asset they own. They are totally, completely flying blind. And while they're out, you can bet their mind is just racing. Did they like the price? Is it too high? Oh man, I hope that weird tile in the bathroom didn't turn them off immediately. Is everyone thinking the kitchen is too small? You see, without your feedback, all these questions just swirl around as pure anxiety and total guesswork. And that's where you come in. Your honest opinion, passed along from your agent to their agent, becomes the seller's only window, their only real connection to what the market is actually thinking. It is literally their only source of real hard data. And wow, look at the difference it makes. It is night and day. On one side, you've got a seller just stuck in guesswork and assumptions, which, let's be honest, almost always leads to a stale listing and a ton of frustration. But on the other side, with feedback, now they can make smart, data-driven decisions. They can do faster price corrections, maybe make a strategic repair, and the result? A much quicker sale. It is a total game changer for them. But okay, the story doesn't stop with the seller, not even close. That one little piece of information starts to radiate outward, like circles in a pond, and it starts to fuel the entire real estate engine. For starters, it helps the listing agent do their job way better. Think about it. Your feedback gives them actual evidence to take back to their client. So instead of just saying, I think we might need to lower the price, they can walk in and say, listen, the last 5 buyers who came through all said the same thing. They love the layout, but feel it's overpriced for its condition. See, it transforms a hunch into hard, actionable advice. And here's something you might not think about. It actually strengthens the relationships between agents. Real estate is a surprisingly small world, and reputation is everything. When an agent consistently gives good, professional feedback, they're seen as cooperative. They're building goodwill. And that goodwill, it can pay off big time down the road when things get tough in a negotiation. It just makes for smoother deals all around. And it's wild to think that this whole process, this whole engine, it all gets started with just one piece of feedback from one buyer after one single showing. Now imagine that happening over and over again across hundreds of showings. When tons of agents are all sharing feedback, the entire market gets smarter. It gets more responsive, prices adjust to where they should be faster. Homes don't just sit there for months on end. The whole system just works better. It becomes more efficient for everybody. All right, but now for the final ripple. And honestly, this might be the most surprising part of the whole thing. Let's trace this all the way back to where it started, with you, the buyer. I mean, this has got to seem a little weird, right? How does giving feedback on a house you didn't even want, how could that possibly help you? You're moving on, you've already rejected it. What's in it for you? Well, here's how. Your feedback can actually spark action that benefits you later on. Let's say you told your agent the price was the main issue. The seller hears that from a few people, and boom, next week they drop the price. Suddenly, that house is back in your budget. Or maybe you mentioned the roof looked old. The seller might decide to offer a concession for it. Your feedback can literally reopen a door that you thought was totally shut. And it goes deeper. That feedback sets the stage for a much smarter negotiation if you decide to circle back. Imagine you make an offer. If your offer confirms what 5 previous buyers have already said about the price, it's not just a lowball offer anymore. It's an offer that's backed by market data. You've basically paved the way for a smoother, more realistic conversation. Okay, so let's wrap this all up. The big takeaway here is that giving feedback isn't just about being polite. It's not just a courtesy, it's an incredibly powerful, strategic move. So if we're gonna do it, how do we do it right? Well, what makes for really great feedback? It really boils down to 4 simple rules. First, be prompt. Try to get it in within 24 hours. Second, be honest but respectful, right? No need to be rude. Third, be specific about the big stuff. Price, condition, layout, not subjective things like paint color. And finally, and this is crucial, it has to be client approved. Never share something your buyer wouldn't want shared. And here is a perfect example of what that sounds like. My buyers liked the neighborhood and layout, but felt the home was priced high compared to recent sales and noted concern about the roof's age. See how great that is? It's respectful, it's super specific, and it gives the seller something they can actually work with. It's not, yeah, they hated it. It's real, actionable intelligence. So when you really get down to it, that quick little chat in the car with your agent is so much more than just a comment. It's a critical piece of data. It's a strategic pillar that empowers sellers, makes agents better at their jobs, and helps create a smarter, healthier market for all of us. Which brings us back to our big question. Is buyer feedback just a courtesy? Or is it maybe the smartest move in the entire game? When you look at all the ripples it creates, I think the answer is pretty obvious, don't you?
Blue Spruce Realty is here for you.